Hey everybody, I know it's been a really long time since I made a video. I'd like to apologize. Moved halfway across the country and a lot of stuff's happened in the last, wow, almost a year, I guess. Uh, but I haven't forgotten you guys, and before I begin here, I want to show the materials I'm going to be using because I get these kinds of questions a lot. So the inks that I'm using are Adirondack brand alcohol inks made by Ranger. And these can usually be found in chain hobby stores or craft stores like Michael's and things like that in the scrapbooking section. I'm also using 91% isopropyl alcohol, available at any drugstore. I just realized today that Walgreens actually sells it in a handy little spray bottle, so that's kind of cool. It's not really adjustable, it's either on or off, and it just does a pretty coarse mist. But anyway, to get to the meat and potatoes of this video, I'm going to try an alternative to Yupo. Yupo is really expensive. A lot of people have never worked with it because it's a little bit of an investment to get into. I mean, it's not ridiculous, but it is expensive for just, playing around. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of Yupo. And I meant to write on here, I forgot. So we'll just put that on there so we know what that is. And then this is the alternative. And it is a beware of dog sign. You can get these, they're about $1 a piece. I got these at Lowe's for 98 cents in this size, which I didn't even measure. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go get a tape measure. So this is 8 by 12. So it's actually the same as these sheets of Yupo. You think I would have noticed that? Well, no, it's an inch shorter. But anyway, this is what it is. It's really cheap if you just want to try one, to see what it's like working on something that isn't a tile. And of course, like I said, these are 98 cents. And then you got the big guys. So these are just for sale signs. And again, at Lowe's, I got these for $2.98 for these big sheets of it. And this one, just to give you an idea, it's 19 by 15. I mean, that's pretty good for $3. Now, I did notice as I was picking these out that because they're not intended to be used for art, a lot of times they're handled really roughly by the employees of the stores and stuff. So it's actually kind of hard to find ones that don't have smudges on the back, either of the red or the black ink. But if you dig into the middle of the pile, that's usually where the good ones are. So I'm going to put these aside and go back to our little beware a dog. And I'm going to cut this one to about the same size as this Yupo. Just real rough, because we're just doing a little test here. Now, you'll also notice that, I don't know if this will pick it up in the video, this is not as white as the Yupo. The Yupo is I keep saying Yupo is very bright white. This has like a bluish gray tinge to it, but depending on what you're doing, it may not matter. So, something to keep in mind. Also, you can sometimes see the print on the back. If you're doing very, very light, a lot of alcohol, not much color, you might actually, in your finished product, be able to see the edge of the screen printing on the other side. But if you're using a lot of bold colors, a lot of bright colors, honestly, I don't think anyone would ever notice. And you could always trim it right to that. so that you don't have this lighter, almost white border around the edge. You could just trim right to the black all the way around. And again, you know, this stuff isn't going to be perfect or anything. I just wanted to try it as an alternative. You know, alternatives are always good to have. You know, if you need an emergency medium to work on, and I don't know. Again, I think it's, especially the big signs, I think it's a great way for people to play around with working in a larger format without having to spend, you know, 50, 60 bucks on large format Yupo. All right, well, let's do some little tests here. So, open up these brand new colors here. And we'll start with this, they moved the name, Stream. So I'm just going to do a dot and let it run on both sides. And right away, without doing anything, you can see the Yupo is spreading out differently than the sign. The sign is just going straight down. This is my first time doing this. I didn't do anything before making this video, so I'm seeing it for the first time too. So that's kind of interesting. It doesn't spread on this stuff, but it spreads on this. Could be good or bad, depending on what you're doing. Next thing I'm going to do is just spritz with the old alcohol. And it's a pretty big difference. It's spreading a lot more on the Yupo. That probably means that it's getting less traction on the Yupo. And it's not as easy for it to move around on this stuff. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. So I'll get rid of these. Well, actually, no, let's do a bleed test with two of them real quick. It would help if I could actually, my aim, trying to get it in the middle of that. Okay, again, it's just racing down on this stuff. It's not spreading out. Here there's a lot more blending going on because it's actually allowed to go sideways a little bit instead of just heading straight for the basement. I'm just going to go ahead and do a whole bunch of liquid here. Then I'll add a third color. And you can see too, at the top of the Yupo, there's still that hard line of where it stained the Yupo. Where over here, that top line is completely gone. It just blended away, melted away smoothly. Let's do one more, a little butterscotch. Results of that is about the same for both. Sorry, I'm trying not to drip all over my table. I don't know if, yeah. And let's see, what else can we try a little, if you're wondering what this holder is, that's just a business card holder that's up on its back. It was really cheap. I think I got it at Staples. So I'll go ahead and get some of this off the table. Add a little more here. And those look as identical as you can get with alcohol inks. No difference whatsoever with the stamp. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take these off. And actually, I'm trying a new recording app for my iPhone that actually lets me pause video while taking it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause while I set up the clean this up and set up the next sheet. Alrighty, sorry for the abrupt change in angle. I'm going to try to do something flat now. And another test that I'm going to do is, you've seen me use the heat gun before. You can also use a hairdryer. I get a lot of questions about that. Yes, you can definitely use a hairdryer. My wife won't let me use hers, so I use a heat gun. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Got some pipettes going. And I guess we'll just start with laying down some alcohol. Get a couple colors here. One thing I wanted to test here was how prone these signs are to warping with the heat, because Yupo will do it too, but I was just wondering if it was any worse or maybe any better. I am getting a little warping already. Might not be too bad if it was in a frame. Might be able to kind of squish it flat again. That's probably good. I just want to dry this out a little bit. You want to be careful if you do this with paper towels that have patterns on them, like Halloween patterns or something, because that'll end up in your artwork. You know, some of them are quilted in a certain pattern. Of course, you might want that effect too. So, let this part dry down here. Just a couple little white spots that I don't really want in there. Alrighty. So there we go. Whoops, I'm dripping all over the place. Hang on. I have to be really careful of the hardwood floors in this, in my new art space. One of these days I'm just going to throw tarp down over the whole room. Alright, I think I'm going to pause again. I'll dry all this off and then come back. Okay, so here we are. It's almost dry. Close enough to be handled. But I just wanted to show you, this is just a white canvas board. You know, one of your cheap artist loft or whatever. But I wanted to show that if you look at the edges, even here where there's hardly any ink, you cannot see that it says "Beware a dog" on the back. Because remember, this is what we started with. So, not a bad substrate. It's not perfect, but it is an alternative. I've also, you know, heard a lot of people, I've gotten comments from people overseas who have had a really hard time finding Yupo. So this gives them a great alternative. And I don't know what kind of plastic this is, polypropyl, styrol, you know, whatever. This particular one is made by Hillman Group, and their website is hillmangroup.com. There might be some info there if anyone wants to research it. But yeah, like I said, just had an idea, wanted to see how it worked, and it actually worked really good. There are a couple differences, as we found out, in the way that the inks move around, but you cannot beat. I mean, I know a lot of you, you know, a lot of you guys shop in art stores and stuff, and you cannot beat $2.98 for a piece of Yupo this big. So I'm excited. I'm going to start doing some really big format stuff, I think. Get some poster frames and have fun with that. But yeah, hope you all are doing good. If you like my videos, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you very much. And good luck with your arts and crafts. Take care.